I'm Jeremiah McKinnon, and this is NEC News Today. Here now are the top cannabis news stories from around New England for March 17th, 2023. The Cannabis Control Commission in Massachusetts recently announced that they inadvertently released the data of current and former marijuana agents in a public records request. The contents of an email from the Cannabis Control Commission are starting to become public that reveal that the agency accidentally released the personal identifying information of current and former agents at cannabis establishments across the state. The Commission says that the accidental release of this information did not include Social Security numbers, any banking or financial details. Unfortunately, agent names, residential addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, and dates of birth were released as a result of the leak. The Commission says that as soon as they discovered the leak, they acted to notify the individual who submitted the public records request to delete the records. The Commission consulted with the Office of the Attorney General and the Office of Consumer Affairs and Business Regulation in response to the situation. To be clear, the notice refers to agent information being disclosed and not patient data, as some have claimed. We believe that there will be more to come from this story, including who obtained the leaked information, and we will have more to report on it next week. Vermont has announced that they are behind on processing patient and caregiver registrations. Vermont's Cannabis Control Board recently posted an update on their website to inform the public about the backlog they're currently experiencing. The agency says that they have hired additional staff to process patient and caregiver registrations. Currently, the backlog goes back to applications submitted on the first week of February. Because of the amount of work yet to be completed, the agency says that the medical program will not be able to respond to requests to check in on the status of any application. According to the Cannabis Control Board website, there were 4,302 active patients enrolled in Vermont's medical cannabis program as of June 13, 2022. In New Hampshire, lawmakers are talking about the tax that would be set on cannabis if it ends up being legalized. Cannabis sales were proposed as an addition to the state's 8.5% rooms and meals tax to avoid creating a new tax, but that idea failed to gain traction. Lawmakers are now looking at a 15% tax rate on cannabis cultivation, according to reporting from WMUR. The bill currently in review would put the authority to regulate the cannabis industry with New Hampshire's Liquor Commission. Recently, a separate bill that would allow for limited home cultivation of cannabis for medical marijuana patients and their caregivers received a favorable vote from a House committee. This episode of NEC News Today is brought to you by CBD Please, the first CBD store east of the Mississippi, and your local resource for reasonably priced, lab-tested cannabis extracts. CBD Please was founded in 2014 by Bill Downing, who's been a leader in Massachusetts cannabis law reform since 1990. CBD Please offers everything from premium quality organic hemp buds to extracts, tinctures, and many other cannabinoids. Visit cbdplease.com for more information. In Connecticut, the adult use and medical sales figures for January and February were released, and the data shows that medical sales are greater than adult use sales. The Connecticut Department of Consumer Protection released data showing that the amount of medical marijuana sold in the state exceeds the amount of recreational cannabis that was sold. The state launched recreational cannabis sales on January 10th and sold over $12 million of adult use cannabis between then and the end of February. Medical marijuana sales during the same time period reached a total of $19 million. At the same time, medical patients have been frustrated with supply issues and fewer product offerings since adult use sales started. In Maine, consumers are asking the legislature to put social consumption spaces back in the law. A lawmaker in Maine has introduced a bill to add on-site consumption facilities back into the law that voters passed to legalize cannabis. Maine's legislature ended up removing the language that allowed for on-site consumption facilities from the law that voters passed. During a recent hearing of the Veterans and Legal Affairs Committee, several individuals from Maine agencies provided their testimony in opposition to the bill. Maine's Attorney General, Office of Cannabis Policy, and Bureau of Highway Safety all recently weighed in with their concerns. Those in support of the bill pointed to the fact that public consumption of cannabis is not allowed. For tourists or individuals who rent their residence, an on-site cannabis consumption facility could be the only way to legally consume cannabis in the state. The bill was introduced by Democratic Representative Lynn Williams. The Heal dispensary in Provincetown has shut down for good and turned in their license to the state. One of Provincetown's 5 cannabis dispensaries has closed their doors and has surrendered their license to the Cannabis Control Commission. Heal, which opened its adult use dispensary on Shank Painter Road in 2021, faced staffing shortages in January of 2023, with many positions suddenly becoming vacant. The store tried to resolve the issue and reopen in April. Provincetown officials pointed to their host community agreement with the company that requires the business to operate at least 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. The town sent letters to Heal that warned the company that they would face fines if they did not reopen before March 1st. Unable to hire the positions in such a short amount of time, Heal ultimately decided to surrender their license to the Cannabis Control Commission to avoid any fines from the town. A bank in Vermont has announced that they will no longer be offering cannabis accounts moving forward. According to reporting from Hetty, Vermont, the Brattleboro Savings and Loan Bank decided to discontinue their cannabis banking services due to the costs associated with compliance that would put them in a position where customers would have to pay high fees. A press release from the bank noted that they were one of the first financial institutions in Vermont to offer banking services to the cannabis industry. The bank said that they will refund existing customers' application fees and keep accounts active for at least 90 days as their clients move to other banks. Last but not least this week, North Shore Community College has added a cannabis curriculum. Located in Danvers and Lynn, the North Shore Community College is now offering a cannabis cultivation and retail certificate program. The college describes their cannabis cultivation and retail credit certificate as a 2-semester academic course that gives students the ability to complete within a 9-month time frame. The courses include cannabis law and the regulatory environment, plant and soil science, fundamentals of plant health, and more. According to the North Shore Community College website, the total tuition, including general and technology fees for in-state residents without financial aid, is $4,200 for the 16-credit certificate, but the program is eligible for financial aid. For the absolute latest New England cannabis news, head on over to necnewstoday.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video. Subscribe to NEC News Today for more great content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode of the show. For New England Cannabis News Today, this is Jeremiah McKinnon, reminding you to always use cannabis responsibly and to enjoy your cannabis-filled adventures throughout New England.